Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of the Bison Broadcast. Mr. Pizzo and I have been working diligently at the school. We are hoping that this never has to happen. However, we wanted to make sure that we were fully prepared in case there is a need for us to transition to full remote learning for all of our students. One of the first things that you need to know is obviously we're preparing for the possibility of the COVID spike. We've had several cases in our Erie County recently. We have been preparing for this, and we've been working with our faculty to put together a series of slides to help educate you and prepare you in case we do need to make that move to full-time remote learning. Mr. Pizzo, if you'd like to begin to talk about attendance.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Thanks, Mr. Rimpa. So when the students are going to be full-time remote, we're going to track attendance very similar to how we do when they're here brick and mortar. Their first period class, they're going to get in their Google Meet, and it'll be for their first period teacher will take it. Now, for those students who have an A-B schedule, a different period for first period, we're only going to go in your A day. So say, for instance, you have gym on an A day and health on a B day. You're always going to go to your gym class. Always go to your A day for your attendance. Once your attendance is done, then you can go into your B day class. That way it'll stay consistent with us, and it'll reduce confusion. Between 7:35 and 7:45 is when you want to log in. All you got to do is log in, just give a wave to your teacher. Hey, I'm here, so the teacher can see you, hear you, and then know that you're in attendance. If you're not present, teachers will put it into EduStar and will track attendance that same way. All the same rules still apply.
And also, Mr. Pizzo, for those students that are involved in our FLB Cyber Academy, that program will still remain the same.
That is correct. For synchronous learning, and that's, if there's a live session that your instructor wants you to be on, they're going to take attendance for every live session. So we had to send these out to our faculty. So some of the wording may look like it's geared for the teachers, but the content is for you guys too. So say you have to be in a live session at noon, the teacher will take attendance there. And any time that you're supposed to be there and you're not, it'll get reported to me, and that'll be an illegal and unexcused absence. If you're truly sick or you can't be there, parents can still write excuses. We just ask that you still use the school form, fill it all out completely. And there's a couple ways you can get that to us. You can take a picture of it and then email it to Mrs. Montgomery. You can fax it to us, and our fax number is there, 796-2141. Or you can just drop it off in the high school. And remember, you have 3 days to return that excuse after an absence. If it's past the 4 days, then it becomes illegal or unexcused, depending on the age.
Thank you, Mr. Pizzo. Next, talking a little bit about our classroom instruction. Very important time for our teachers to continue to build those personal connections with students. You're going to see our teachers provide a detailed weekly plan each Sunday night or Monday morning, so your students have an idea what's going on that week, what objectives, what desired outcomes are part of that week, as well as any live sessions, as Mr. Pizzo referenced earlier, those synchronous learning sessions that occur when your teacher and you and the students will be together at the same time. A lot of them will be asynchronous, which means there'll be activities either recorded or activities that you can work on at home. There's going to be virtual office hours provided each day that our teachers will have available in their Google Classroom. Also, there's the two methods that we mentioned, the synchronous learning, the asynchronous learning. You can kind of see how important both of those are. Both will provide great opportunities for our students to learn the material and have opportunities to ask questions and reach back out to our teachers through email or perhaps through one of those virtual office hours. Classwork and homework, the enhancement of your core concepts, those are going to continue to be provided just like they do when you're in your brick and mortar, which means on campus here in the building. Nothing will change. You'll have assignments due. They'll be daily. One thing that you need to be aware of is this will be full, similar to what we have for our FLB Cyber Academy students. This is not going to be similar to the emergency or pandemic cyber program that we provided last spring. That was a much different model that was necessary for those times. This will be very much more similar to what you're used to with your day-to-day classes. So there'll be a lot of work and a lot of expectations. We know you can do it, but we need to make sure we're doing everything to provide the best possible education for you as a student, and parents that are listening to this, for you, for your students, so that they are ready to go for next year. Assessment, there's going to be many opportunities for your students to check on how things are going. We're asking our teachers to provide those daily checks and also weekly feedback to students to make sure that we're all on the same page. If there's anything that you as a student don't understand, or if you're working with your students and having trouble, make sure that you reach out to our teachers, either through email or through their office hours. Communication is just so very important for everything that we do here at Fort LaBeouf. Make sure that you're responding to all emails, within 24 hours. That goes both ways. We ask our teachers to respond to those, and we also ask you as parents to respond to those. What happens is, with us not having availability of your student every single day, knowing that we can interact with them, knowing that we can ask them questions and check up on things, we're going to be sending out emails to you. Mr. Pisa is going to reference that in a minute. So please make sure that you're doing your best to get back to us. Your EduStar is going to be updated at least once a week, so that you as a parent can see the progress of your student, and you as a student can make sure that you keep track of your grades, make sure that you're on track. There's several different ways that you can reach out to your teacher, but the best ways are those virtual office hours or emailing your instructors. And then lastly, students that are struggling, we ask our teachers to first contact the student, then contact the parent or guardian, and then get the case manager or school counselor involved as the next step, to make sure that the whole team is aware of what's going on, so that we can create that team atmosphere. The whole idea of it takes a village to raise a child, takes a village to educate a child as well. Mr. Pizzo, if you'd like to talk a little bit about behavior management with the cyber program, if we have to go to a full-time cyber program for a period of time, it might be a 5-day, it might be 14 days. We're not sure at this point, but we want to be prepared. So here's how we're going to handle that. Go ahead, Mr. Pizzo.
Sure. And again, hopefully we don't have to go to that route, but if we do, here's the behavior management. Similar to what Mr. Rimba had just talked about in the previous slide about students who are struggling academically, the first reach out is going to be for teacher redirection. If students in there and causing disruption and kind of getting in the way of the teacher's ability to teach, or other students who are in that class learning, especially when we're synchronous, she's going to redirect the student. If she has to do it more than once, we'll contact the parent. There's a number of ways we'll do that, through the Google Meet or the email or a phone call home. If it continues, a case manager or the school counselor will be notified. And then lastly, if none of those interventions produce the desired results about paying attention and focusing on your schoolwork, they'll have to notify, get me involved. The students who are currently in the Fort LaBeouf cyber program, we've had to do a few things. They've had to come in for Saturday detentions, and they've done that. So we're still following all the protocols as if you were in brick and mortar. Again, hopefully we don't have to do that, but once you're in that synchronous, you want to make sure that you're paying attention and think about everybody else there and their ability to get the material.
There's several challenges that come with this, folks. The good news is we've had a very successful FLB Cyber Academy so far this year. The teachers that are involved in that program have put in tons and tons of hours. It's remarkable. So many of them, when we interact with them and we sit down and we talk about, strengths and weaknesses, victories and things that we've gone through, so many of them share that they haven't worked this hard since their very first year as a teacher. And that makes sense, considering this is their first year with this full-time remote learning. We want to continue to create partnerships with you as a parent and guardian, whether we're together in the building and seeing you at athletic events or at arts events. We want to make sure that we're continuing to grow that partnership and make that solid. Understanding that our students have different levels of skill, especially technical skill, is going to have an impact on our assignments. And remember also that internet connectivity. One of the things that we are aware of is that several of you have identified yourselves as being in an area where you struggle to have reliable internet. So we do have those hotspots available that went out last year. And if we are to go to any type of long-term 3, 5, 14 or longer day remote learning sessions for the entire building and the entire student body, those hotspots will be distributed to those families so that we can make sure that we are all able to get together. And then also we ask our teachers to continue to monitor. We know this is a very difficult time. COVID has made things so very difficult for so many of us, myself included. And so we're here for you. Make sure that you're reaching out to your school counselors if you're seeing anything that concerns you about your child. There's also a few other things that we ask our teachers to do, like stop for a few moments, pause, reset, kind of start over again. And remember, our teachers, this is very new to them. Our teachers involved in the FLB Cyber Academy have done an incredible job of educating us and working through some hiccups and troubles and educating the rest of us. But remember, we're going to build competence just as you are. So please be patient. Please be understanding. Please know that this is a learning process for us as teachers as well. And then our students that are involved with students with special education IEPs, students with 504 plans, we're going to make sure that all levels of support are in place. A couple additional resources for you to take a look at. If you're having tech issues, right here's a link for you. The Student Tech Skills website is a great resource that Mrs. Heather Peters has put together. We encourage you to check that out. And then if you're having trouble, your Google password reset is right there. So thank you everyone for joining us. We appreciate your time. We hope that all of this is unnecessary, but we know that it may be necessary. Mr. Pizzo, any final words of wisdom?
Nope, I'm good.
Well, thanks, Mr. Pizzo, for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for your time, and go Bison.